What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, no matter where you go on social media, I think one thing has been just popping off everywhere, and that is the concerns from the community that Battlefield 6 is going to turn out to be exactly like Battlefield 2042. And it's absolutely wild to me because, and I'm not saying people shouldn't be cautious about EA doing something scummy within Battlefield 6, but there are legitimately people out there who are consistently watching the alpha gameplay of Battlefield 6 and are claiming it looks literally like 2042. And every single time I see a comment like this or see anything pop off on social media and get tons of likes of people claiming this information, I'm just sitting here thinking to myself, how could they even think such a thing? It's mind-boggling. And the funniest part about it is that the majority of these individuals haven't even played Battlefield 6 yet. They're just simply watching the alpha gameplay, and they're already putting together the comparisons that it's going to be a 2042 clone, which is hilarious because every single person that I know of personally who actually got hands-on with Battlefield 6, they all say it's the furthest thing in the world to 2042. But I actually saw a post over on Reddit. I'm not exactly sure how to go ahead and pronounce this person's name, but they said, I sentence you to watch 5 minutes of Battlefield 2042 alpha gameplay. And boy, oh boy, let me tell you guys something. It is an absolute treat. I'm sorry I'm about to go ahead and do this to you guys, but I'm going to show you the exact gameplay that this individual posted on Reddit. Of course, I'll leave the link to this post down in the description of this video. But I'm going to show the full 5 minutes, and I got to be real with you guys. How does this look like Battlefield 6 in any way, shape, or form? Now, of course, before we go ahead and dive into the comparisons, I do want to state, wow, seeing Battlefield 2042 alpha gameplay again, it's just absolutely wild. It literally looks like a match of Roblox. It's empty, lifeless, soulless. This is probably the worst looking Battlefield game I think we have ever witnessed in the whole freaking franchise. Now, again, 2042 did eventually build itself up to something a little bit more better, but I still consider it the worst in the franchise. There's just too many things that went wrong with 2042, too many bad gameplay, design decisions that they tried to revert, but obviously when you go ahead and put something together from the core foundation from the ground up, no matter how much work you do later down the road, it won't resolve the overall, biggest issues. But yeah, I'm just blown away at how Battlefield 2042 looked during its alpha. But again, people are trying to say that what I'm showcasing to you all right now looks identical to Battlefield 6 leaked footage of that game's personal alpha. Now, I can't go ahead and showcase Battlefield 6 alpha footage or anything from the labs. As you guys already know, we'll get copyright struck instantly. Clearly, when they go ahead and reveal the game on the 31st, we'll probably be able to be a bit more open with gameplay. And for me personally, I'll probably just wait until the beta drops and I'll get my own personal gameplay before I start showcasing it. But you guys can go anywhere online. I mean, you can go to Google right now and type in Battlefield 6 leaked footage and probably find like 5, 6, 7, 8 plus clips of, 10-minute long segments of what Battlefield 6 is looking like in the alpha phase. Let me tell you guys something. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to be rude. But there must be something wrong in your head if you genuinely think that Battlefield 6 in its current spot looks anything like 2042 did in the alpha stage of that game. I could say 1,000 different things about Battlefield 6 and why it looks better than, what we're watching. But the simplest way I could put it is Battlefield 6 looks like a Battlefield game. It genuinely looks like, DICE knows what they're finally doing, which blows my mind because what happened with 2042, you know what I'm saying? How did they go from a game like Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 5? Although Battlefield 5 had some interesting issues, at the end of the day, you can't tell me it's not a stunning game. It visually looks amazing, beautiful, and it still got praise in, many different departments. How do you go from something like that to 2042? I mean, like I said in the beginning of this video, it looks like Roblox. I mean, you can hear me. I'm speechless right now. I genuinely don't know how that game turned out the way that it did. I'm assuming it's because of the limitations of trying to, again, make Battlefield on all platforms, last gen and current gen, and then trying to expand on the 128-player formula, which meant that instead of making, more condensed maps because performance would be rough, they went ahead and made expanded maps so it could be a little bit easier. And on top of that, they were trying to make a side mode that is Hazard Zone, obviously, which didn't have its own map, which is another thing that I'm really excited for with Battlefield 6 when it comes to its BR, is that it's going to have its own unique environment. It's not going to have to take from anything from the core Battlefield experience, and then you have to worry about the maps trying to be split between, multiplayer in a Hazard Zone or multiplayer in a BR. No, none of that noise. They have a BR map, and then they go ahead and have a bunch of multiplayer maps. But in Battlefield 2042, that was another thing, right? All the maps that you're playing on in multiplayer could be played in Hazard Zone. So not only are they trying to balance it for all different consoles, they're also trying to balance it around 128 players. And at the same time, they're trying to balance it around 2 different game modes, the core Battlefield, Conquest and Breakthrough, and then obviously trying to switch it over to an extraction shooter. But regardless of all the gameplay decisions, it just still shocks me and blows me away. The way 2042 turned out is just, it's insane looking at the difference in quality from a game that literally released before it to 2042. And then a game like Battlefield 6 right afterwards. It makes you really think, how does this game look the way that it does? I mean, it's on the same engine as Battlefield 6, running on all the same, parts. Yet and still, Battlefield 6 looks like a completely different experience in every way, shape, and form. But with that being said, let's get back to the main topic here. Stop worrying about Battlefield 6 being a Battlefield 2042 situation. Again, when I say this, I'm not saying don't be cautious, like I stated in the beginning of this video, of what EA can do, because they can definitely do some scummy things, and we have no clue. A couple of months down the road, they might add a bunch of clown skins into the game. We have no clue what the outcome is going to be of Battlefield 6 until we're actually live and in the lifespan of the game. But you can tell that it is not a 2042 scenario. And a Battlefield 6 will 1010% have a better core foundation, a better starting point than 2042 ever had. And that, to me personally, is enough to go ahead and run with. As you guys already know, Battlefield is notorious for dropping games that take a little bit of time to put together, I suppose I could put it. It's not that amazing to hear, and I feel like that shouldn't be the standards of Battlefield. And hopefully we can branch away from that. Who knows, maybe with Battlefield 6, we won't have to run into major game-breaking bugs every single time it drops. But that's kind of tradition when it comes down to Battlefield. Even the most well-known popular Battlefield game ever put together, Battlefield 4, had many issues when it came to performance, bugs, issues, and took ages to put it together. But after doing so, it is known as one of the best Battlefield games ever made. Even Battlefield 5, which was the most controversial Battlefield game probably made in a while, it's between that and Hardline, I would say. But Battlefield 5 had a very rough start, but once the Pacific hit, I feel like the community kind of shifted, and a lot of people began to see the potential of Battlefield 5 and, saw that it was, not too bad after work was done to it. 2042, there was nothing that could be done, Yeah, it's in a better spot now, but the foundation of the game was way too torn to shreds to ever, and when I say ever, I mean ever, turn it into something good. They could do everything in the world, and I appreciate the devs for doing such. They went ahead and reworked all the maps. They tried their best to add back in the class system to the best of their ability. They did what they had to do, but again, the foundation was so bad, nothing could be done. Battlefield 6, it looks like it has a good foundation. Much better than what we saw when it came to 2042 during its alpha phase. Completely different experiences. And even if Battlefield 6 does end up dropping in a subpar state, I guarantee that over time, it will probably be, I don't want to say one of the better Battlefield games after it's been polished, but I'll tell you what, it's going to be better than 2042. So when you're looking at this gameplay, honestly, I'm curious what these individuals are thinking. If you genuinely think it looks like 2042, what about it makes you think that? I can't see it. I can't see it. When I look back and forth between the two titles, they look like completely different games to me. Yeah, there's elements of Battlefield within there, and it is a Battlefield game, so clearly it's going to, have a lot of Battlefield stuff. But if I'm comparing 2042 and Battlefield 6, the experiences, I don't see any similarities. But then again, that's the fun of the gaming scene, and also just making content on YouTube in general. You Got to see a lot of different opinions, a lot of different takes. And there's no correct or incorrect take out there, but I'll be honest, I do not think Battlefield 6 is anywhere close to, just the general vibe. Just looking at the gameplay, listening to the sounds, so on and so forth. It's just so different. But again, go down in the comment section and leave your opinions down below. But ladies and gentlemen, as always, if you enjoyed today's video, leave a like. If you hate it, leave a dislike. Don't forget subscribing and hit that bell. I post to your daily at 8 1 Eastern Time. Everything between Battlefield, Call of Duty, Splitgate 2, Arc Raiders. I try to post as much variety on this channel as possible, especially as the games are getting closer and closer to launching. And last but not least, if you guys are interested in my live streams, I stream Monday through Saturday over on Twitch, starting between 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern Time. And again, I'm not going to be here Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, but the streams will resume on Thursday. And same thing when it comes to, fresh, hot topics here, especially with the new Battlefield multiplayer gameplay reveal right around the corner. So, of course, keep your eyes peeled across the board. And if you guys want to interact with me on streams, by all means, you can find a link to my Twitch channel down in the description of this video. But as always, thank you for tuning in. And I'll see you all next one. Peace out.